Okay, I got to ask you a challenging question. Have you written down your vision yet? Have you written down that 3-year or maybe 5-year? I personally wrote down my 36-month vision. That way I could reverse engineer it. 36 months, 12 months, 90 days, 1 week, 1 day. And I ask you that for a very specific reason, because if you remember from a previous video, once we write them down, once we write down that vision, the universe actually recognizes that, hey, this is a real thing. This individual, this person is actually taking moves to go after something big, and the universe will actually conspire for you and with you to help achieve those big, hairy visions. But if you haven't put your stake in the ground saying, hey, this is what I'm going to go after, we continue to be in reaction mode. Okay, we're just reacting to the environment, and these are the 3 biggest reactors. So I want you to think about whether you've written down the vision or haven't written down the vision. Are you in reaction mode? Are you doing one of these 3 things on a daily basis in one way, shape, or form? First major reactor is pain. Okay? Our brain hates pain and tries to avoid pain. Okay, so what does it do? It does everything in its power to stay away from pain. Meaning, hey, I don't really want to hop in that cold shower. It's going to be cold. It's going to be painful. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to go to the gym. That's going to be painful. I don't like to feel pain. I'm not going to go and do this to avoid pain, to do that to avoid pain. Our brain, as good as it can be to accomplish these great things, has to be equally as good at manipulating us into thinking, hey, that's going to be too painful. We shouldn't do that. Okay. So number 1, are you avoiding pain? Are you getting up? Are you waking up? And maybe that's why you haven't even written down your vision. You know, if you write it down and it starts to become real, and if it doesn't come true, you don't want to feel that pain. Okay. And maybe just recognize that is that pain going to be greater, that pain of regret, is that going to be greater than the pleasure of joy, that joy that you're going to get by reaching those big visions? So number 2 reactor is actually pleasure. Okay, for many of us, that pleasure comes in short-term goals like eating unhealthy things, maybe just turning on Netflix and watching a couple movies, smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer, getting some short-term pleasure, and we really do that to numb our mind to not feel pain. We'll just take this pleasure for the moment. Okay? And we do that because that short-term, it numbs it, makes us feel good, it kind of makes us forget about the vision. And some of these pleasures are negative, but some of them are just neutral. Okay? The problem with negative or neutral, nothing wrong with watching a movie, but it's neutral. And here's the reason why it's neutral is at the deepest level, these quick pleasures, actually, they don't do anything for us for fulfillment. And when we reach our deepest desires, and when we're giving and we're growing and we're really, really going after the things we want, we're fulfilled inside. We feel good. So in the short term, it feels great, but then it leaves you empty. You're not fulfilled. Okay, so the number 3 reactor is actually not even your own. You're reacting to other people's demands. Other people's demands. Okay, the other thing we like to do is we like to please people. I'm guilty of this all the time. I like to please everyone, so instead of doing the hard things or having a hard conversation or doing the things that I need to do or should be doing, I just react to what do you think I should do? Or maybe we're at work and our boss tells us to do something, or our relationship, and instead of having these conversations or doing the things I'm supposed to do up front, I just go by other people's demands. I just follow whatever other people want of me, so I can please them. I can show them that maybe I'm I want to feel worth or worthy, so I just do what they ask me to do. I don't want to have any conflict. I want to avoid that pain. I want to get the short-term pleasure, and it actually wraps in all three together. So we just react to other people's demands. It's a lot easier than creating our own demands, and meaning our own visions and own hairy goals and big things we want to go after. We can just react to other people. So I want you to reflect. A, have you written down your vision? If you haven't, turn off the video right now, go back, watch those videos, go through those steps, get yourself in peak state, prime state, and write down those visions. And if you haven't, or even if you have, are you in reaction mode? Most of us are. I am. I'm guilty of it all the time. And that's why I'm sharing this. I'm sharing a lot of these videos because we tend to try to teach the things we need to hear the most. So I'm doing this to reiterate the things I need to hear the most. And I do that best when I teach somebody else. I was a teacher for 7 years, coach for 7 years, have coached business, real estate, and athletically. But I tend to just repeat the things that are simple, the things that I need to hear the most. So reflect on these 3 reactors. Which ones are you doing? What can you do to change? And go after those visions.